The White Mountains today on the set now. I've got Sam Garland from Bear Notch Cross Country in Bartlett, New Hampshire. How are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Of course.
And it must be hard to pull yourself away from the trails on a day like today to come in a studio and talk about it.
Definitely. I mean, I'll tell you, I've been out the last few days, the last 4 or 5 days in a row. It was awesome to begin with. It's only getting better. The snow is absolutely perfect. As good as it could be right now.
Right.
So.
Now, Bear Notch is a little bit different from other cross-country centers in that you guys are family-owned. You're a Garland. It's the Garland family that owns and runs. What's that been like to grow up kind of in the sport, to have, your dad and your uncle, you wake up, most kids wake up and they have their routine. They eat breakfast, they watch their cartoons, they do whatever it is. And your family, it's you wake up, you get on the groomer, you go groom the trails.
Definitely.
What's that been like?
It's been pretty cool. It's been a great opportunity. I mean, I grew up cross-country skiing. It's our 16th year of operation, so that's a good portion of my life.
Yep.
I raced growing up. I raced at Kennett at the high school, so I've been involved in it all along the way. My dad and my uncle are tireless. I mean, it really is a family operation. We have my dad and my uncle who manage it, do the grooming. My other uncle does the lessons. A good portion of the network's on family land, so it's a family operation through and through, and that's what we try to cater to. We try to cater to families. So. And
you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it to go there and ski on the trails because, we throw around the word world class but it really feels like that when you go on the trails. You can't tell that this is a family-run operation of a few people. It seems like you probably have like a whole fleet of groomers and trained staff out there, but it really is great.
Well, thank you. That's what we like to hear. They really are meticulous. My uncle in particular with the grooming, he's out there early in the morning, every single morning, trying to groom as much of the network as possible, trying to get everything in awesome shape. When there's not a lot of snow, they're out there shoveling to make sure that the trails are in good shape. This year there's been plenty of snow. It's phenomenal out there. Yeah. So it's always nice when we get a good winter. We can get parts of the network open that otherwise haven't been open. So.
Right. Now, you've skied in high school, you've skied in college, so you've been to meets all over, probably New England, if not the country. It must be, is it nice to come back home and ski on your trails sometimes?
It is. It's awesome. I actually didn't ski in college, but I was still a little bit active with it. But to get back and to go out and to ski when you know where you're going, the trails perfectly. You're out there helping them clean them up a lot of the times.
Right.
It's a pretty cool feeling, so it's awesome.
Do you ever bring any of your college friends home and say, hey, let's go out on my trails, and then they actually get there and say, this is where you live, these are your trails?
That's happened once or twice. More than anything, I always get the cross-country skiing. Is that just like walking? I'm like, okay, let's get out there. Let's try it out, and we'll see how you feel about it. It's pretty impressive to get out there and be able to show my friends where I grew up.
Now you guys have lessons, and are you giving lessons this week?
Lessons are typically my uncle. I'll do lessons too on a need basis. So we have a few packages. We have our Learn to Ski package, which is for skiers of all ability levels. It's $50 for the first person, $40 for each additional person, and it includes your rentals, it includes your lesson, and it also includes a day pass for the rest of the day. So you can get out there, you can get your skis underneath you, and then you can enjoy the rest of the day on the trails.
Right. So. And one of the nice things, we were talking earlier about cross-country skiing, one of the nice things is you can take a lesson and, unlike alpine skiing, where it takes a little while to get to enjoy a lot of the terrain on the mountain, especially at Bear Notch, you can do so much just after learning how to do a few of the basics.
Definitely. We pride ourselves in having a network that caters to all ability levels. We have our Scenic and Simple, which is right down by the Saco River, absolutely pristine. It's beautiful. It winds right along the river, fairly flat, perfect for beginners, and you can get some of the best views in the valley. We also have up into the hills, up into the National Forest a little bit, some more difficult, some blue squares, some black diamonds. So even if it's your first time, you can get out there, you can get on the flats, you can get out and see some beautiful views. You can you feel like you're really by yourself out there, and you're doing it. If you're a better skier, you can get up in the hills and you can get some pretty challenging skis. So
absolutely. Some events going on. You guys have a snowshoe with a naturalist program?
Yep. What we have is the guided tours with a local naturalist. Her name's Patty. You just call ahead and try to book them in advance. We don't have a schedule for them, so they're just call ahead, and she takes you out there. She goes out for a few hours into the woods, some places where you might not otherwise go snowshoeing. She shows you some of the wildlife. If there is anything, she'll show you some of the plant life. She'll show you trees. She really knows her stuff, and it's a phenomenal opportunity to see to see really the natural environment out in the White Mountains.
Yeah, if you've never been out with a naturalist here in the White Mountains, someone who really knows their stuff, it is amazing because they can look at what looks like, okay, there's a little indentation in the snow or a little mark in the tree, and all of a sudden they're telling you a story of how that mark got there. Oh, that's a porcupine rub or something like that, and this is where the owl came over, probably grabbed the mouse, ate it, flew back up to the tree, regurgitated it. There's the regurgitation right there.
I mean,
it's not as maybe that's not the best example, but
the things you wouldn't even notice. I mean, things that if you were snowshoeing on your own, or at least in my case, if I were snowshoeing on my own, I wouldn't even notice. She'll point them out to you, and then then you start to pick things up and you start to see things on your own.
Then when you go skiing, it's you realize that you are skiing in this place where all this wildlife is happening all around you, even if it's not sitting right there as you ski by the trail.
Definitely. Yep.
So what's the number one thing people are saying? The number one feedback that you get that kind of makes you say, you know what, this is great. This is why we do it.
We always like to hear good things about the conditions, about how the trails are groomed, about just the environment that we have, and we've been getting a lot of good feedback about that. It's really nice to know that when you're out there for hours trying to get the trails into the best possible shape, that you're doing something that people appreciate. So, so that seems to have been very good. We also get a lot of compliments about the fact that we're one of the only networks around that welcomes dogs onto our network, well-behaved dogs, because we're family-oriented, and a lot of the times, four-legged friends are part of the family as well. So as long as the dogs are well-behaved, they are welcome on our network.
Okay. And, of course, one of the things I like is you have usually have some soup.
Definitely.
In the back. So after a morning of cross-country skiing, there's nothing better than getting into your warming area back there and enjoying some homemade soup.
Definitely. Our warming hut is a converted barn. It's right next to our rental station, which is actually in an old farmhouse. It's over 200 years old. And we have soups daily, which are available for purchase. We also will have complimentary breads. We make bread on premise, and we'll sell those are actually complimentary. So go get a cup of soup and some bread, and works out very well after a ski.
That's fantastic. Anything else we missed that we should tell people about Bear Notch Cross Country in Bartlett?
It's in phenomenal shape. Like I said, I've been out there firsthand, so it's definitely worth catching right now. It's the best possible conditions you could ask for. So.
Conditions are great because we've had so much snow, and now that it's kind of like packed down and you guys have groomed it, I'd imagine the skate conditions are fantastic.
They're great. I've been out skating the last couple days, and you really can't beat it. It's a perfect mix of just a packed powder granular that it's fast. I mean, you don't even need to wax your skis, and you're out there, and your skis are fast underneath you. So.
All right. Well, before we let you go, I'm going to put you on the spot. We're going to give away. I've got in the back a pass for two to Bear Notch Ski Tour. We're going to give it away live on the air. Right now, we've got some questions in our vault. Can you think of any Bear Notch trivia that would be fun to stump our viewers with this morning? What we could do this. Do you remember the last animal you saw around your trail system?
I mean, there are a lot out there. I mean, you'll see squirrels every single day. Sometimes you'll see foxes and things like that. So I've got one for, it might be for some people who have been with us for a long time. If they can remember how, before we operated out of the house, how our business operated up there. How did Bear Notch Ski Touring start?
How did it start? So, like in terms of how you gave tickets away, or
how people access the network? How did it start? How was Bear Notch Ski Touring Center was 16 years ago, and if someone knows the answer to this question, then it's pretty obvious. They'll remember it. So if not, then you guys can use your questions back there.
This one could take us a while.
Okay,
and you know what? Those people probably already know Bear Notch. They probably already skied. Let's give someone who's never been there the opportunity to go. Let's Reed. Do you have a question back there we could pull up? Okay, Reed says, I do. That's what I'm here for. Perfect. That's my job. I'm in the zone. Chris. Here's the question. 356-6619. Call it right now. 603-356-6619. Answer this question. Get 2 free passes to Bear Notch Ski Touring. What was the answer to yours? How did
donation basis. We had a box out there that people came skiing. If they liked what we did, then they just threw a donation in there. And that's how the whole business got started. So.
There you go. And then they said, we have something here because our donation jar is full. People like this. Who sold 59 acres atop Mount Washington to the state of New Hampshire in 1964? It is now a state park, the top of Mount Washington. But prior to that, it was owned by who? Dartmouth College, the estate of Joseph Stickney, the Cog Railway owner, his family, the Mount Washington Carriage Road, which I think it's actually still the name of the Mount Washington Auto Road officially. Cecil Jeffers, well-known Cecil Jeffers, and the U.S. federal government, who sold it to the state of New Hampshire for 2 passes to Bear Notch. Good morning, watch and win. What's your answer?
Is it B?
B, the estate of Joseph Stickney. No, a good guess, but try again. 356-6619, watch and win. Good morning, what's your answer?
I'm going to say E.
E, the U.S. federal government. No, another fine guess, but try again. For 2 passes to Bear Notch, we want to know who sold the top of Mount Washington to the state in 1964. Good morning, watch and win. What's your answer?
Let's go with Dartmouth College.
That is the answer we're looking for. Basically, if you answer Dartmouth to any of our questions this morning, you'll win, because that's the second one. Who is this?
This is Dave.
Dave, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Conway.
Dave from Conway, you've got 2 tickets to Bear Notch. Have you skied there before?
I have not. No, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, you've got to try it. It's definitely one of the places you must visit here in the White Mountains when you're up here on winter vacations. Interesting fact, it was sold by Dartmouth. And they got it from actually what was, I think, choice B, Joseph Stickney. That was the Cog family. It got inherited or passed on to Dartmouth after he died, and then Dartmouth sold it to the state. So stay on the line, Dave. I'm going to get your information, tell you how to claim your prize, and thank you so much for joining us in the show this morning.
Definitely. It's nice being here.
Sam Garland from Bear Notch Ski Touring. If you want any more information, the number there is 374-2277. And just ask for Sam, or just head out on the trails today and look for him in the woods. He'll be there.
And you can also visit us online at www.bearnotchskitouring.com. So
okay.
All our information is there as well.